Welcome back, true believers and all you spectacular Spidey fans, to another very exciting episode of Marvel's Spider-Man 2 101. And boy oh boy everybody, the finish line is nearly in sight.
We're in the end game now.
Where at the time of this recording, we are exactly 3 weeks away until the worldwide release of Marvel's Spider-Man 2 on October 20th. And while that might seem like a rather long wait, we've already waited over 2 full years at this point, ever since the game was initially revealed all the way back in September of 2021. And seeing how we've already made it this far, I don't think waiting just a few more weeks is gonna be that big of a problem. And fortunately enough for all of us, there still is quite a lot of news that has been unveiled for this game. So if your overall hype levels are starting to go through the roof like mine are, then definitely be sure to flip that like button and subscribe to the channel for any major Marvel Spider-Man 2 content in the future. Now, to kick things off with what I believe to be the craziest piece of Marvel Spider-Man 2 news, is that it has been officially confirmed by several members of the press as well as various gaming outlets have indeed already been distributed full-on review copies for Marvel Spider-Man 2. Now, if you know anything about review copies, is that almost every single game that releases nowadays is provided one. So it's not too crazy to see that several members of the press and various media outlets already have their hands on the game. But what is crazy is that Insomniac, Marvel, and PlayStation are seemingly so confident within Marvel Spider-Man 2 that they have decided to distribute these review copies 3 weeks before the game's worldwide release. And to my personal gaming knowledge is that that is absolutely unheard of. Now, as a comparison, all the way back in 2018, when I was first given a review copy for Spider-Man PS4, is that I was actually provided with my own review copy by PlayStation a full week before the game's main release on September 7th of 2018. But knowing that we're 3 weeks away from the mainline release of Marvel Spider-Man 2, and seeing so many people already have their hands on review copies for the game, just shows just how massive this title is shaping up to be, alongside of how much faith all the developers and publishers have within this experience. And even though I personally do not have a review copy for Marvel Spider-Man 2 for myself, simply based on everything that I was able to play during the Marvel Spider-Man 2 preview event already gives me complete confidence that we are bound to expect one of, if not the best superhero games and Spider-Man experiences of all time. However, for the rest of us that don't have a review copy for Marvel Spider-Man 2, this is where things start to get a bit more complicated. Whereas it was confirmed by one of the holders of these review copies with Jeff Keighley, is that he stated that I am in possession of a complete copy of Marvel Spider-Man 2 for PS5. Impression/review embargo on Monday, October 16th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And since we still have a little bit more waiting to do until we actually end up hearing more about the game from these reviewers, this then leads to the biggest issue of spoilers leaking out for the game too early. Whereas it was posted online by Insomniac Games themselves, they stated, "Hey webheads, as we approach launch, Spider-Man 2 PS5 spoilers may start to appear online. We worked hard to craft a story packed with surprises, so tread carefully and be mindful of posting spoilers. Let's be greater together. Please keep the adventure fresh for everyone." And even coming from the community director of Insomniac Games himself, of James Stevenson, he then added on to this post by saying, "It's worth noting we will do everything in our power to strike and take down unofficial footage until launch. But stay frosty." So yeah, if you don't want to be spoiled in any way, shape, or form with anything relating to Marvel Spider-Man 2, now would be a good time to get off the grid completely. But just make sure that you're fully aware if you decide that you want to end up searching for more Marvel Spider-Man 2 content. And speaking of Marvel Spider-Man 2 content, this is where we start to get to the actual nitty-gritty of all these recent news updates, where this image in particular has been officially retweeted by Insomniac Games themselves. So I think it's safe to say that if Insomniac can share this image, then I think I can too. Where we did end up receiving the official title screen for Marvel Spider-Man 2, or more accurately, merely one of the game's many official title screens, where in this case we do see Harry Osborn himself directly standing in front of the tank that is holding the symbiote, which of course is the same exact tank that we have seen several times now within the post-credit scenes of Spider-Man PS4 and Miles Morales. And I do believe that there is a very very good chance that if you end up pressing X to start, you will then undoubtedly seamlessly transition into a cutscene where Harry is interacting with the symbiote, which seems to be the exact same moment that we've already seen within the game's story trailer. And if anything, I actually think that this might be a flashback right before Harry decides to get into the tank for the symbiote to heal his disease. So it is going to be extremely interesting to see exactly what Harry and Norman's dynamic is with each other, but also discover exactly what their connection is to this symbiote entity. But to reiterate is that this isn't the only title screen that Marvel's Spider-Man 2 will have. When I was personally able to play the game for myself during the preview event, I did see after the demo was concluded that each of the individual gameplay areas had a different title screen on display. Where, just to name a few, I did see a title screen that featured both Peter and Miles within their Spider-Man suits, but were unmasked on a bridge while looking over the city. And as for the other ones, I did see Miles on the side of a building looking over Manhattan, Peter deciding to take a break while resting in a web hammock, and much more. Showing that we are going to be receiving absolutely dynamic title screens depending on where we are within the game's story, which will then allow us to seamlessly transition within the open world, where this is not only similar to the opening title screen that we saw within Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, but this is exactly what we saw all the way back in E3 2018 with the very first open world gameplay demo for Spider-Man PS4. And knowing that we're going to be receiving a wide variety of those within Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is going to make the experience that much more immersive. And I, for one, can't wait to discover all the other title screens for myself. But moving on from the game's title screens is something that is without a doubt much more important, and that directly relates to the game's web swinging, where if you saw my previous 101 video, I did go over one of the features that Marvel's Spider-Man 2 will have, where it was officially confirmed by Insomniac Games themselves is that there is going to be a swing assist mechanic within the game's accessibility features. Well, as it so happens is that Insomniac decided to officially publish the entire list of accessibility features that Marvel's Spider-Man 2 will have, and for the most part, a lot of them are very similar to what we previously saw within Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered and Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. And we will also be receiving even more accessibility features as a post-launch update for the game within December of 2023. So if you do want to read through the entirety of the game's accessibility features, I will leave a link to it in the description below. But undoubtedly, the biggest highlight within all these options has to go to the Swing Assist feature. And for all of you diehard Spider-Man 2 movie tie-in game fans out there, you are going to be extremely satisfied. Where the main three options that come tailored with the Swing Assist feature is steering assistance, slow corner timescale, and webline bending. Where to actually go in reverse order is that webline bending allows the player to turn on and off the ability for weblines to bend while walking on them, which we obviously saw all the way back in the PlayStation Showcase demo in May. Following that with slow corner timescale is that the player can slow game speed during corner transitions to reduce disorientation when whipping around a corner at high speeds. And last but not least is the crowning achievement with steering assistance, where higher values allow for easier web swinging, while lower values reduce the amount of resistance and cause physics to have a greater effect on web lines while swinging, which, as you should all be fully aware of at this point, is the exact same situation that fully occurred within the Spider-Man 2 movie tie-in game, where in that game the player was provided with two different difficulty levels when it came to the game's swinging, one which made things more easier for the player to control, and the other option which made it feel more realistic. So if you're someone who hasn't already been thoroughly impressed with the web swinging for Marvel's Spider-Man 2, then you will be able to thoroughly adjust all the web swinging capabilities within the game's options menu, in order to have the web swinging feel the way that you want it to. And knowing that all this is going to be stacked on top of the already incredible additions to the game's traversal system with updated air tricks, web wings, loop-de-loops, and corner tethers is simply making Marvel Spider-Man 2 look like it's going to have the best traversal system in any Spider-Man game to date. And if we're able to make the web swinging within this game feel like it's ripped straight out of the Spider-Man 2 movie tie-in game, that is going to be absolutely insane and shows just how dedicated Insomniac are to try and deliver the best Spider-Man experience possible. And I, for one, am beyond hyped. And last but certainly not least for today's news docket is the official announcement that Marvel Spider-Man 2 will be appearing during this year's New York Comic-Con, which does take place from October 12th through October 15th. Although, while they have confirmed that there won't be any type of massive Hall H panel for Marvel Spider-Man 2 like we saw during San Diego Comic-Con, there is still going to be a fairly interesting reveal for the game, where if we look at Marvel's schedule on Thursday, October 12th, we do see at the very bottom from 4:30 through 4:45 p.m. EST is that we are going to be seeing some exclusive suit reveals for Marvel's Spider-Man 2. And even though the game itself will be pretty close to fully releasing at that point, it still is pretty cool for Insomniac, Marvel, and PlayStation to give the New York Comic-Con crowd something to get excited about. But for all you crazy suit fanatics out there who are hoping to see some costumes within the game like that of the sensational Spider-Man suit, or even the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit, I don't think that these suits in question are going to be anything like that. And instead, I do think that we're going to be seeing more original Insomniac crafted designs for Marvel's Spider-Man 2, primarily based on what we previously saw within the Digital Deluxe Edition trailer, as well as what we saw all the way back at San Diego Comic-Con 2018, where they did reveal a suit during that Hall H panel, which was the very last pre-order suit for Spider-Man PS4, which was none other than the Velocity suit, which was an original Insomniac design. And if anything, I do think that we will be seeing something similar here for Marvel's Spider-Man 2. But of course, only time will tell to see exactly what Marvel, Insomniac, and PlayStation have in store for us. And no matter what, it won't be that much longer until we all have the game in our hands for ourselves. But with all that said, everybody, that's the video I have for all you today, and please let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think about all these Marvel Spider-Man 2 updates, and how excited are you in knowing how close we are until the game fully launches? Let me know what you think. Be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you did enjoy, and for more Marvel Spider-Man 2 videos like this in the future. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay spectacular, Spidey fans, and until next time, peace out.